This video is dedicated to the victims of 9/11. So we're at the school where all of this happened, where I was currently at. This was back in 2001, like I'm pretty sure you guys know. And I was inside this school. After the attacks of 9/11, 3 years later I got transferred out of the school. That's why I felt like, because of what I'm trying to do, I had to come back and try my best with my memory to try to relive the incident that led up to my experience in 9/11. Now, one thing that I do want to say is that I may not have gone through the tragedy and I may not live in New York, but best believe that we all went through this as Americans. Though I may not know your pain literally, I really can't remember of the age that I was when this occurred. But so when all of this was happening, I had no idea what was going on. There was just a lot of commotion. I remember hearing in the intercom that kids were gonna start being dismissed and parents were gonna start picking up their children. I was currently, I think, in kindergarten or pre-K, I don't remember. But I'm 23 and it's 2018. This was in 2001. So please someone do the math. That all of the kids were exiting, and my mom, because she worked at nights, she would always be late to come pick me up. So I would have to sit in one of these stairs and wait for her. But despite of all of that, my mom managed to pick me up. And I was happy to see my mom and everything. My sister went to this school, and she was supposed to be in class. I think she was in first grade, but she ended up taking a flight to Mexico with my father the night before, and so she wasn't in. So my mom came to pick me up, and I don't remember what exactly was going on, but just this fear or this emotion was, I don't know, just as a kid I really didn't know what was going on, but all I know is something wasn't right. You know that fear when you did something bad and your parents find out? That's the same fear that I had. When my mom came to pick me up, I saw her distraught. She was worried. And when we got home, since we didn't have like cable or anything like that, I right away rushed to the TV and flipped the channel to channel 11, PBS. I wanted to watch, cartoons. That's when I started seeing this.
It's 8:52 here in New York. I'm Bryant Gumbel. We understand that there has been a plane crash on the southern tip of Manhattan. You're looking at the World Trade Center. We understand that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. We don't know anything more than that. We don't know if it was a commercial aircraft. We don't know if it was a private aircraft. We have no idea how many were on board or what the extent of the injuries are right now.
And I remember at that moment my whole life changed. And as funny or as messed up as this might sound to you guys, I was a kid. I was such a child that I was living in a small world, I guess. And my world was so small that I thought that where I'm at right now, all the way to downtown, was the whole world. I remember that once I flipped the channel, my mom was on the phone with my sister and my father that were stuck in the airport. They weren't going to allow anyone to fly because of everything that was occurring. And I was scared for my sister and my father, that I just started to cry. And I thought that my dad and my sister were in that flight, one of those flights. This goes back to my small little world. I remember, I guess I got so sucked up in fear that I managed to run out of the house, and I ran to the big street just to look at the buildings. I didn't see anything. I didn't see no smoke, no fire, no anything like that. And believe it or not, like I said, I didn't know where New York was. I didn't even know there was a New York. I was just a child. And that's when reality kind of hit me. That's when I noticed that my world wasn't as big or small as I thought it was. And watching all those people throw themselves out of the buildings to try, it's just, forgive me for my language, but it was just so mind fucking that like I can't imagine the fear or just the thought of you being stuck in a skyscraper and having these thoughts in your mind that you can't breathe because of all the fumes, the smoke, and for you to be dangling off the window or off the edge, and for you to have that thought that, oh shit, you know what, like, I'm about to die, and for you to choose how you want to die. Having that thought, just kills me nowadays, to either get squashed by the building collapsing on top of you, or you jumping off the building's window and falling to your death. Like, I can't imagine it. Like, I can't imagine what those people were thinking or going through. And that's why, like, I decided to do this, because though I may not be in New York, and though I may never live in New York, just know that everybody became a New Yorker that day. It's just sad to see how people, and for those people that were on the phones with their loved ones, or that were in the towers, that managed to get through to their loved ones, and knowing that you are never going to hear your loved one's voice. It's just, I just can't. I just can't. Especially those kids that lost their parents, that didn't know what was going on, and having to, probably like around my age, having to kind of build up the courage to see how your parents passed away, with social media nowadays, or, with YouTube, It's just, I don't know, it's mind-boggling to me. Like, I can't. I smile because I don't want this video to be sad. I just want for the people that watch this to feel you guys are not alone. Though we may not live in the same state or lived what you guys lived or went through with what you guys went through, you guys are still in our hearts and in our prayers. And as Americans, I feel like regardless of who's president, regardless of what we're going through, what war we're fighting, or what any person is representing nowadays, we are still Americans. And what happened that day, that year, will forever be in our hearts. And it's a scar that we may never recover, because no matter what we do, we're never going to get anything from it. So these are the stairs where I had to wait for my mom that day. Honestly, it feels weird to be here, but it's been a while since I've been to this school. That day, all of the kids and the parents were rushing out of here. Usually my mom, because she would work late, she would leave me for like an hour here waiting. So don't judge my mom. She would work at night. She would get home at 6, 7 in the morning, have to get us ready for school, drop us off at 9, and then at 11 come pick me up. And sometimes I guess she would be so tired that she would leave me here in these stairs. I think I kind of remember I was seated here waiting for my mom when all of that was occurring, around 9, really early, we had to go back home. So I found the house where I used to live, though you guys may not be able to see it. I used to live in this house when that occurred. Down that street to my left is where I ended up running out of the house to see if the buildings were collapsing or in fire or anything like that. So that's the building that I thought that was on fire. That's September 11 morning. I know you guys can barely see it, but if you Google it, it's called the John Hancock. All jokes aside though, I don't know how tall the Sears Tower is, but just seeing how tall it is, having to imagine someone jumping from all the way up there, it's just something I could never surpass. And I know I probably said this like more times than I should. My purpose of making this video is just to show love to the New Yorkers and to what today and many years from now, what you guys are gonna always remember. I live in Chicago and we have the Cubs and you guys have the Yankees. You have New York style pizza. We have stuffed pizza. You guys have Central Park. We have Millennium Park. We have the Willis Tower, aka the Sears Tower, and you guys have the World Trade Center. We have a beautiful skyline, and I'm sure you guys have a beautiful skyline too. And though we may always compete against each other from one city to another, from a Chicagoan, I just want to say today, September 11, we will always be brothers, and we will always be together, no matter what city you're in, no matter where you are, no matter what state you're in, no matter what country you're in. I think today we all become New Yorkers. I just want to show support to you guys and to show love. I know this video might not be the best video out there, and I understand, you know, but I'm just trying to show love. To all those people that went through all of that, I'm really sorry for your loss. For all those kids that will never see their parents or their loved ones again because they were working in that building or in those buildings or were in those airplanes, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And I mean, what more can I say? The last thing all I gotta say is God bless America. I'm out, guys. Peace.